Time to pull clutch number 5 for the year. This is a banana female bred to a pastel lesser desert ghost male. So we'll go ahead and get her off these eggs and see what we got. Alright, 12 eggs from this girl, all good eggs. Last year she laid 13 and unfortunately most of them were slugs. We think that was the male because she's always been a good layer for us. Average weight per egg is 115 grams. We're going to go ahead and get these back in the incubator and we'll be back here in 55 days. Alright, time to cut clutch number 5. As a reminder, this was a female banana bred to a pastel lesser desert ghost. So we're looking for pastel lesser and banana. Everything's going to be 100% het DG. We have one trying to work their way out, so I'm going to go ahead and help them first because it looks like they've made a lot of cuts and aren't out yet. So, you okay there, Holly?
Yep.
Okay. I'm just going to do this first, and then so I can see in. All right. So pastel, lesser, banana, and then that's all I'm looking for visually. Everything else will be het. I know I think I've told people before, but if you see cuts, it's always good to like just open up where they've cut. That way they don't get their head stuck later trying to get through a spot. So I like to go ahead and do that while I'm doing all this. This one's going to be a little funky because of the way they cut it. Looks fairly normal to me. And they are okay. Cool. Alright, we're just going to work our way around. There is not a lot of space on these, so...
Nope, lots of eggs to cut.
Yep. Alright, first up, that is probably a pastel lesser, it looks like. I'm going to try to find a way to give myself a spot to cut for any drips. Give me 1 second all. I think I'll clear this corner. That way I have a spot to cut. I don't have to worry about dripping down on other eggs.
Sounds like a good plan.
Alright, that I would say is lesser, looks like, from in the egg. Since this is a female banana, we could get both male and female bananas, and all the males would be female makers. That looks like a pastel. Alright. Hoping to hit some more bananas. Either a normal or a low expression pastel. Get some of these from the front. I'm surprised we have not hit any bananas yet. Half the clutch should be. I think that's probably a normal.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, odds are not in our favor right now, that's for sure. Unless all of a sudden we hit all bananas to round it out.
There we go.
Nope, that's...
Oh, never mind.
That's a pastel lesser.
Saw some yellow for a second.
Yeah, nope, that just looks like a pastel lesser. I thought so too, but unless sometimes when you have the young babies, they don't color up for a little bit. Unless, for by chance, they just need to color up, they look like a pastel lesser. They have no orange in them. Now that's a banana. Definitely banana. I can't really tell lesser or pastel, possibly. Maybe pastel. It doesn't look lesser in the egg, but sometimes with banana, it's a little hard for me personally to tell in the egg what else they have. Especially when we do a lot of, well, I do a lot of DG banana stuff, and it really gets hard to tell those in the egg. That looks like a pastel. Alright, we need some more bananas. That's 1 out of 12 babies so far.
Yeah, pretty hefty clutch.
Lesser? So maybe a lesser? Yeah, big clutch, and then it's kind of crazy though that we have not hit any more bananas. And I would say, maybe something was wrong with pairing, but it's the mom who's banana, so it's not like we could have had another male in there, you know?
Yeah.
Lesser? Maybe a pastel lesser? Wow.
All right, final one. We kind of tend to do this, though. We either go crazy on the odds, where we're good, like...
Oh, we go crazy.
We're in a higher percentage of what we should have, or we get nothing.
It's either crazy good or crazy bad is the problem. This is very surprising, to say the least.
I feel like at least this one's probably going to be banana, but you never know.
I think that... Ooh, that's tough. They're very light. Are they okay? They are. I want to say just a lesser, but remember how I mentioned that sometimes they color up? That one might be one that colors up to a banana. We'll see when they come out. So not great odds, but we'll wait. We'll get these back in the incubator, and we'll be back here with post-shed. All right, everybody, post-shed for clutch number 5 of the year. As a reminder, this was a banana bred to a lesser pastel desert ghost male. There are a lot of babies. I am not about, and wrangling all 12 of these is already enough to do. I'm not going to try to pick everyone out. I'm just going to point out what we got. So,
Okay.
It's going to be crazy. I'm sorry. Normals. There are, sorry, baby. There are 3 of them. 1, 2, 3 normals. Next, we have pastel banana. Which is, hold on, right down here. See them? I'm pointing to?
Yep.
Then we have a banana.
Yep.
Then we have a lesser banana over here. Got that?
Yep.
All right. Then we have 3 pastel lesser bananas. 1, 2,
Yep.
3.
Yep.
Then we have 2 pastels, which actually happen to be right next to each other right now.
Yep.
2 pastels. And then we have, I am going to grab this one while I try to wrangle, this really pretty lesser that I'll put out by itself for a second. You can focus on that while I wrangle.
Yep.
It's a
And
lesser with a whole bunch of paradoxing. So I think that covers all 12.
Yeah.
All right. It's a lot of babies, and they are everywhere, so we want to get these separated and into their individual tubs. So I think that's it for this video, unless you have anything else,
I
Holly?
have nothing.
All right. Oh, and of course.
Adventure.
Sorry. Of course, everything is het desert ghost because the male was a visual desert ghost. So, like, comment, subscribe, all the YouTube stuff. We'll see you all next week.
Take care.
Bye, everybody.